Welcome to the making of me. Today we are joined by Baiba Wais, the host of Career in Technicolor podcasts and creators of your own career academy method. After 15 years in corporate, climbing the ladder and checking all the bosses, Baiba realized that she's living for external validation and ignoring her own inner guidance. In this episode, she will share how she reclaimed her essence, build work and life that energizes her daily and guide others to do the same. It's really a pleasure to have you on the show. Baiba.
Thank you for having me. So nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So, Baiba, after 50 years in corporate, what did you first realize that your inner energy was feeding?
Yeah, I think it was like an on and off process. When you're working, no matter what is the structure, sometimes things start out well, but then you have different roles. And over the years, I just saw my own energy drain. I was feeling a lot of anxiety, stress. I was feeling overwhelmed. And then, once I turned 40, there were also some signs, when I was starting to feel the stress in my body, like feeling pains and aches. And I just started to feel like my light, like my own life force was dimming,
Mm.
and it kind of was scary. It scared me. And, that feeling where you feel also you don't have that much to give. There were times where I felt like I didn't have a lot to give. I had a son, to my friends, to, other areas of my life because I just was feeling like a lot of my energy was going to work, but then I was feeling exhausted and not having a lot of emotional capacity, like energy, patience for other areas of my life.
Wow, amazing. So, what now made you decide to start looking inward instead of seeking external validation at that point?
So I have been seeking, I've been on this journey from my 20s. So it wasn't just, like one job or one moment. I think in my is I realized that I don't feel very happy inside, that I was actually feeling quite a bit of dissatisfaction. And then I was looking for like the answers that started kind of my own spiritual journey of looking for answers, how to feel better, essentially.
Yeah, amazing. So, how were you able to kind of handle the fear of anxiety, leaving security behind when you actually left the corporate world to start diving into were you able to kind of bear the burdens, the fear that comes with leaving security behind?
Yeah. And, it's a big question. I appreciate that. And, one of the components, so it's a layered process. It's not just like oh, here's a tip and trick, do this
Yeah.
and you feel secure. I think it's been a journey of building the security within your own being. Or more precisely, it's reconnecting with the security and the power and the magnificence that you already are instead of seeking security,
Mm.
no matter what it is external, whether it's a job, a boss, pay, a partner, a house, right? Checking some sort of title, right? Or a bank account, right? So much of the time, it's really been a process of building trust and security within your heart and soul.
Wow, thank you. This is really amazing. Building trust within your heart and soul. Yeah, you are already
Yeah.
what you are. And it's really amazing looking at it from that very way. And I think I could say
Yeah.
the reasons why you could let go of the security in yourself and believe in the fact that, yeah, you're already what you
Yeah.
are. So, how did you shift from being external reference to trusting your own inner guidance? Were there more like a daily habit or practice that actually help you? Why you are actually more like doing this?
Thank you so much for that question. And I also wanted to share how much I love the name of your podcast, The Making of Me,
Thank
because
you.
that is literally the process, It has been a process that I walked. Making of me
Really?
is how I have been able to shift, and I'm still going through layers of this shift. In my experience, it hasn't been a one and done
Yeah.
process. It hasn't been like, oh, you decide and next day,
Yeah.
brand new you, everything checked, you're totally like completely done. It's like layers of like somehow I felt like some things, but then there's also the
Yeah.
integration in your daily choices, in your daily thoughts, in your daily state of being. And that is the most powerful kind of platform or source where you start to change that feeling. Because it's not just a feeling, it is literally a state of being and
Yeah.
an activation of your own soul. So a daily habit. So it's beautiful that you asked me that. So I just recorded a visualization that I'm going to actually release. Like you mentioned, they have a podcast called Career and Technicolor Podcast where I share these tools, how people, I mean, that's exactly the making of me, and how everybody can start walking that walk more directly towards their own unique purpose. Because that's the hard part about it in this world, that you can't just take somebody else's mind. Your soul, your essence is so unique. It is so beautiful. It's so powerful. So you wouldn't be serving it by just taking, oh, look at what Arrow is doing. He has this podcast. I'm going to do the same because Arrow has a different, like, just like the fingerprints are so
Yeah.
unique. Right. So, and this is why it's a great thing and sometimes a difficult thing for our mind. But a practice is building stillness. So, what you can do for 5 minutes a day is literally close your eyes, and you can do it with us when it's safe for you to do that. Place your hand on your heart, or you can come back, right? If you're driving or whatever, come back to this piece of the and part of the podcast and just breathe in. You can breathe into your heart and breathe out. And really feel into as you breathe in your heart. You can imagine this beautiful green light coming from the sky, washing over you. And again, inhale and just feel whatever is coming up for you. And exhale. And then imagine if you're in front of a beautiful, still lake. So there's this beautiful nature in front of you, and the water is completely still. It's not rushing anywhere, it's not thinking ahead. And notice you might see moonlight, beautiful moonlight shining over the lake, or maybe it's a beautiful, bright day filled with sunshine. And then feel that stillness washing over your body, in your belly, that you are building from that stillness, that you're no longer seeking, you're no longer this leaf that's being blown around or rushed around with ideas, with thought forms, this thing and that thing, and you're just looking all outside of you for answers. But you're really coming back and feeling that that stillness of the lake is in your belly. It's in your heart. It is washing over your whole being.
Amazing. Amazing. Thanks for that. And I think it's very lovely when you make reference of building stillness, because in the world where a whole lot of things are in a rush, everybody's waiting to catch the news buzz, kind of triggers every now and then that, yeah, for we to see ourselves successful, we have to at every point between these and between that, and in the midst of that, it's easier to just lost ourselves while we are doing that. And when you make reference of building stillness, and I think it's very key being that, but we can easily more like get to kind of capture our a whole lot of things when it comes to looking inward compared to seeing it from the way other persons get to see that. What's Mr. A thinking about me? What are they thinking about me? Taking decision from this particular end can get frustrating, and sometimes we can't build stillness from that, being that we're always looking forward to what is their perception compared to what we perceive about ourselves looking inward. And I think it's really amazing.
Yeah, so you then start creating whatever it is you want to create or manifest in your life, but you're starting then from inside out.
Hmm.
And essentially, this visualization is to attune to start get rid of that static, because what you were talking about, it's static in your signal, right? You're being thrown around. because it doesn't really matter what other people think, say, whatever they say is the right thing, the wrong thing. This is all guiding you back to attuning to your own answers and the knowing, the soul print that you knew when you came into this world was distorted, that was you built, but somewhere along the way, you started making all of those noises, right? More important than actually attuning to your own truth.
What breakthrough do you see when people stop seeking other people's approval?
So you start calming, right? You start centering yourself, and you are then starting to hear your own guidance, right? One of the biggest regrets of the dying is the wish that they had lived life more of their own making.
Mm,
When you do that, like the people that you care so much what they think, what they say, the bosses, the clients, neighbors, whoever, right? Whoever it is that you might be consciously, or sometimes we don't even, we think we don't care, but somehow we are still operating in this world
yeah.
because we want to be validated unconsciously, you know? But at the end of the day, a big truth or a big kind of guiding light that I've lived by, clarifying question is like when you get to 70 or 80 and you look back, will you have regrets? Will you have
Mm,
thoughts that what if I had done this and that, right? And I think what it comes down to is at the very core of it is that you actually want to live a life that's true to you, that's coming and is starting and is initiated from you. So you are dancing to your own rhythm,
right then.
that you are the originating melody, that you are the extraordinary. So when I work with people, they are starting to wake up. That is actually my purpose, is to start to wake up that joy and sense and all the amazing things that you can create when you're building from that foundation versus the foundation of
Yeah.
like being rattled by the external.
Yeah. Amazing. 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 Thank you. So many feel stuck between obligations and calling. How do you help them bridge the gap?
Yeah, if you're looking to change that, right? If you are at a point, I'm sure your listeners, anybody who's here hanging out with us, has already started their spiritual
Yeah.
journey. So having that awareness, right, that there's a disconnect, it's a beautiful point, right? You have to have it to start changing or bridging that disconnect. So very simple, practical exercise, if you will, you can do is actually write down like over the next couple of days,
Mm,
especially when the work days, you know, maybe weekends are easier. You can do a little more of what you want. But let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, w- write down what you do throughout the course of the day and then just check pluses for the line items that are something that you would truly choose to do, that nobody would have to ask
yeah.
you. It's not a heavy obligation. And then plus put minuses against those tasks that if you had $10 million in the bank tomorrow, you would hire somebody, you would outsource it, you would just say, F you, I'm not doing this, you know? Like, this is not something that is energizing for my being. I would not do it for free, right? And how you bridge a gap is literally start making more space for the pluses. And a beautiful way is building in kind of to start living and actually internalizing it in your day to day is to create like 30 minutes, an hour a day for spontaneity.
Mm,
So literally like having the discipline to create time where you do what you feel like
yeah.
doing in the moment, because we're so conditioned. Once you've started achieving, once you've started being such a good employee, right? Such a good like achiever where you're so good at making the list, checking them twice, checking them off because this world has told you so. You have this heavy burden of responsibility, kids, whatever it is in your life, that it's the hardest thing is to allow to actually do and hear what you feel like doing. That is actually the hardest thing to finding your purpose because you have stopped knowing and hearing what you actually want to do.
Wow.
As funny as it sounds, as easy as it sounds, it's actually hard. And notice what comes up. What is your mind saying? Is your mind like right away screaming, that's such a waste of time? I don't have time. This is stupid, or like, is there already a protest? Just take a note. What comes
Yeah.
up to you?
Yeah, thank you. I think this is really amazing. More like jotting down your thoughts and throughout the whole day. I think that will actually make you force it through to see what patterns of thoughts I will be having, what pattern of days as your day be or through. And owing to that, you'll be able to kind of eliminate those let's say, looking forward from an old man perspective that when you're 60s and 70s, you're like, oh, will I be proud if I keep doing this on and on and on and on? I think that is a very lovely way of eliminating those things that we might not be proud about and all those things that at the end of the day it might just be showing up from the external validation perspective, but not really more like living out the life we actually choose to live. That's really amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
So
you.
how do you help people move from fear and self-doubt without getting stuck?
Well, you're gonna get stuck. You will get stuck, and it's kind of like, and sometimes we need to get stuck because no experience is wasted. You're not really stuck. What you are being offered is calibration. So no matter if you're spend too much time in the wrong job, in the wrong relationship, we all have done that.
Yeah.
So first of all, give yourself the grace and be gentle with yourself. Like this world is hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So
First
true.
of all, like, send so much love and compassion to yourself. The fact that you're even thinking about this and this is
Yeah.
on your agenda is huge.
Amazing, amazing. I think there's just this particular song that just came to mind when you make reference of this. That you only miss home when you miss home. You only kind of miss home most times when you're out of home. So sometimes it's the fact that being stuck and missing out from that particular thing owing to you didn't get it right. That is when you get to see the value of you getting it right. And I think knowing this is actually more like knowing peace from the fact that, yeah, the fact that you recognize you are not doing it well now simply means that particular process of you knowing it is really needed for you to come back to being aligned towards what is being needed. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
really,
yeah. So any experience, any person, any client, any boss, any company or culture um, is just a calibration point for
yeah,
you to understand this is working for me. I like this, I don't like that. I like this, I don't like that. And it's fine tuning your own manifestation and creation if you start playing with it, right? Seeing it and then making your own beautiful picture of what you want to create for it.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so true. So, was there a moment you felt proud about trusting your inner guidance? And could you share an experience about it?
Yeah, I feel proud every day that I'm walking that path because it has taken a lot of courage and it's been a heck of a journey. So I feel so proud for starting to see and seeing more and more clearly the patterns that are not of my own making, that I have put my own life force behind and dedicated so much energy to, and that I've been able to unplug from more and more of them, and that I'm able also to share that wisdom, share the message of encouragement and empowerment and really inspiration. I am really passionate about like really lighting that fire, that when you have that sense of disconnect, when you have that feeling inside of you that, there's just something more, like things look good on the outside or some of the boxes are checked on the outside, but like there's that sense, that feeling that won't let go, that to pursue it, to listen to it, to honor you, to honor your own essence and listen to that voice.
Listen to that voice. And I think it speak every now and then. It's just that some persons get to ignore it owing to external validation. And the fact that you just make reference of it. Yeah, honor it. Because when you are 17 and 80s, you'll be glad that you honor it. Yeah, it's really amazing. So how do you help people reframe their past experience as lessons?
I think the answer will come to you. I don't think you have to really focus that much on the past. I don't really think that you need to be building new beliefs or other thought frames. I think you do need to feel the heartbreak. I think you do need to feel the sadness. I think you do need to feel the longing and also the joy, the happiness, whatever is coming up in the moment. So instead of reframing, I invite you to connect more with your heart.
Take
Like we are
ownership.
so much in the head, right? And part of it is the problem. We have used a beautiful tool, like our mind can be beautiful when it's aligned with our essence. But if the mind is just running a freak show where now the mind needs to figure, right? The mind is like a dog with a bone, needs to find a problem and figuring out. Finding your purpose, living life on your own terms sometimes can be the scariest. You talked about safety, the scariest thing, because there's not like a framework, a strategy, a mechanism, right, for the mind to dig in and attach to.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And this is very, very lovely. I think it's the fact that the lessons can be gotten from our past and everything when we take ownership of every experience, all the hurts, all the traumas, every experience, either good or bad. The lessons can only come out when we get to embrace them, not deny them. Yeah, accept every one of them, and you get to see a whole lot of things you could do different and a whole lot of lessons of what you could do different going forward. And I think that's really amazing.
Yes, and if I may add, also have compassion, because you don't own if
Hmm.
you were a child and there was a trauma done to you. It's not your fault. I deeply feel the pain, and I don't believe that that was your fault or that was your choice. So be compassionate and loving. And there's a lot of sadness that needs to be felt if you have had trauma. Like, so for me, when you talked about like what was a moment or the disconnect or where I started, I mean, the disconnect really started when I was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. So just be very, very gentle with yourself. And sometimes it is somebody else's fault.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Forgive yourself and take ownership, and then you could see more like how you could actually better things, other than blaming things and trying to kind of cast fingers here and there. That wouldn't change anything, but to rather make you hate yourself. Too. And I think that's really amazing. So, looking back, what advice will you give someone starting to trust themselves and step into their purpose?
To not give up, keep going, and know that there will be moments where you won't trust yourself. Most likely, it's not going to be a
Yeah,
0 to 100, that it will be, you will oscillate most likely, because it's an integration.
yeah.
So don't expect perfection of yourself, but do devote the time to listen and make yourself important. So we're recording this in the beginning of 2026. So my whole invitation is really to step into the era of you. Make yourself important. Listen to yourself. Don't expect perfection, but don't give up on yourself.
Don't give up on yourself. Listen to yourself and just keep showing up, because it's the ups and downs that actually even make life beautiful, not just the ups alone. Sometimes it can get overwhelming. But you get to appreciate the ups, being that you have gone through the down. So it's really amazing seeing it from that different end. And yeah, that's really amazing. Don't give up. Just
Yeah.
definitely things will get changed. And that was really amazing.
Start giving yourself that validation. Make yourself the number one most important person for you. So you're starting to be more internally referenced.
Thank you, Baiba. So, if my audience is going to connect with you, they want to learn more about your work and they want to reach out to you, where's the best platform to do this and where can they reach out to you?
Thank you so much. I would love to connect with you if you enjoy podcasts. My podcast is called Career in Technicolor, where I share interviews of other people and how they've designed their work in a way that's energizing to them. And I also share these tools, different visualizations, and practices that I teach in my own mentorship. So I would love to connect with you on the Career and Technicolor podcast.
Yeah, Baiba, thank you. Your journey reminds us that answers that we seek for are often within us. By turning inward, embracing fear as information, and stepping into work and life that energizes our essence, we can create a life that feels alive every day. To learn and check, you can check more on our Baiba career, a technical podcast at the link is going to be on the show notes so that you can get to kind of connect with her. Once again, it's really a pleasure having you on the show, Baiba. Thank you for honoring our invitation to the Make.
Thank you so much.